Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another book video. It's been a while since I've done a book video. I do a book like reading wrap up at the end of every month, but I was in a big reading slump the last couple of months. January I read heaps of books, and if you haven't seen that video I'll put it up here or here, wherever it pops up. But yeah, I was in a reading slump for February and March, so I decided instead of doing individual reading wrap-ups, I'd just do one for both of the months, February and March. And here it is. Not that many books, 6 books. Yeah, very slow. I'm hoping to get into it again this month, and you'll have to hold me accountable, but by the end of April I want to do another reading wrap-up, and it's going to have more than 6 books. Okay, that's my promise to you. Anyway, let's get straight into talking about these 6 books. So the first book I read was The Cult of Romance. I thought this would be better than it was. This is actually a really unusual version. I have the uncorrected reading copy which says not for sale. So I don't know if maybe the actual published version is better, if this is like fully the unedited version, because it does say like this isn't for sale and stuff, and it's like a one-off publication. I got it from a secondhand bookstore, and I think it's cool that I own an unedited version, but it wasn't that great of a book. It was really like, this girl's like 20 years old or 19 years old, and her best friend's getting married really young. It's just not good. She's the bridesmaid, and she spends the whole book not really supporting her friend in her decision to get married. And I don't know, it doesn't interest me reading about people getting married young, and also I just didn't like the main character, how she was so harsh on her best friend. And yeah, she's just kind of rude and bossy like the whole book. I never really gelled with her, and yeah, it just wasn't a great book for me. I'd probably rate it like a 2 out of 5 stars, to be honest. Okay, the next book I read was Unravel Me, which is the second book in the Shatter Me series. Feels like so long ago that I read this, and it actually was. Obviously I read this in like February. It was a really thick book, but it was really good. Of course, the Unravel Me series, I really enjoy it, and I'm slowly getting through it. I don't own all the books yet, so I'm just kind of buying them eventually as I go, and not reading them like all one after the other, but having a break in between. And yeah, I really like this series. It's dystopian, really fast paced, but like you kind of get stuck into it and pulled into the story. Especially Shatter Me was amazing. Unravel Me probably wasn't as good in my opinion, but I've heard amazing things about the whole series, so I'm really looking forward to continuing reading it. So I probably rated this like a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, the next book I read was actually non-fiction, called Driven to Distraction, and it's basically just a bit about like ADHD and like how to focus and sort of stuff like that. I found it really interesting. I actually read it really quickly, but yeah, it's non-fiction. I don't know if I should rate it. I feel like it feels off to rate it with all the other books, but yeah, that was my token non-fiction, and I don't often read non-fiction. Okay, the next book I read was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I like this book. It was pretty good. Like, Emily Henry's books are always good, I feel like, for just a nice rom-com. I did read Beach Read in January, and I much preferred that. That was like so good. This is probably second place to that. So if you like Beach Read, you would like Book Lovers, and vice versa. Just personally, I preferred Beach Read, although this was like still really good. I'd rate it like a 4 out of 5. Just a really nice rom-com to break things up. Okay, the next book I read is Legend by Marie Lu. It's dystopian YA. It's part of a trilogy. I got it from the secondhand bookshop, so my book copy's like not an amazing quality one, but it was good. It wasn't amazing. I feel like it's more written for younger readers. Like the main characters are 15, so I feel like I just can't connect as well with them. It definitely feels like it was written for young readers. Like I probably would have loved this like when I was 13 or something. But anyway, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not amazing. I'm currently reading the second book in the series though right now, and it seems to be getting better. So I'll update with you guys with my thoughts at the end of April on the next book in the series. And I am going to finish the series. I've got the whole series. So yeah, it's getting better now. Like I'm actually hooked in the next book, so exciting. This is probably like a 3 out of 5 stars, I'd say. Okay, and then I'm already up to the last book because I only read 6 books the last 2 months, which is actually wild for me. I usually read way more, but I'll stop dwelling on that. But I read The Spanish Love Deception. Such a good book, worth all the hype. It is a thick book though, very thick. I really love Elena Armas's books. I've read The American Roommate Experiment, which is also really good. If you liked that, you'd like this, and vice versa again. Yeah, it was just such a good book. It's just like a rom-com, but there's more sort of depth to it, and like it was really character building. So I'd say this is worth the hype, and I'm glad I finally read it. I've been wanting to read The Spanish Love Deception for years. I now have, and it was so good. I just realized I didn't give that a star rating, but I'd say it's like 4 or 5 stars. But anyway, these are all the books I read in the last 2 months. Not many, but I will endeavour to read more, so I'll check in with you guys at the end of this month. But anyway, if you've read any of these books, let me know what your opinions were. If you have any book recommendations, I'd also love to know. I'm always looking for good books to read, and I am in a slump at the moment. I'm like pushing through it, but I need some like really good 5-star reads to get me out of my reading slump. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. As always, I also have links in the description if you want to support me and my channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in Friday's video. So until then, bye.